What is going on, everyone? Steve-O Supremo here, and I am just another game collector. And today is going to be a busy day here in the old game room. We have a new shelf coming in, guys. A new shelf to finally complement with the bigger shelves I have here. These are I think they hold 756 games on those shelves. And you see, I got that tiny one over there. Man, we're getting that one out of there. We're putting another big one in today, and hopefully that'll help with my retro stuff. I won't pan around to it just because it's a mess back there and it's all dark. You wouldn't be able to see it anyways. My retro self is just overwhelmed. Games are stacked on top of each other and just overlapping. I needed the space. We needed to expand. So I'm excited for that new shelf coming in today. And then it should clear out that smaller one and we can put that smaller one to use as well. So really looking forward to that. But today's video, we're talking about which console that if you had to have one to only keep and play for the rest of your life, what would it be? And there's going to be some rules behind this. Pretty simple rules, but pretty straightforward as well. First and foremost, PC doesn't count. We're not counting PC because we could play and emulate anything on there. It just wouldn't make this game fun to try to pick and choose. Secondly, you can only play games for that system. And what does that mean? Like, for example, PlayStation 3, you can only play PS3 games on it. You're not allowed to say, I'm picking the PS3 because it can play PS2, PS1, and have the backwards compatibility. No, you can only play the games for that system. I know, but it's just a rule to make this funner. It makes you think about which system for its games do I want to play. And lastly, we're going to talk about online functionality stuff. We're going to, in this fantasy land, the Xbox 360 still has its online capabilities. So if you want to go on there, play Call of Duty and Halo and stuff like that, you can have at it. If you want to go on to the PS2, play some ATV Off-Road Fury online, some Resident Evil Outbreak, we can do it. So those are the rules we're going to play by, and I would be interested in the comments below hearing what system you guys would pick if you could only have one for the rest of your life with this rule set. So in front of you, I kind of have my final four here, the final four that I had picked to be in the running, and then I'll tell you guys the one that I picked to rule them all at the end, but we'll kind of go over each of them a little bit. First and foremost, got to put the Super Nintendo in. Super Nintendo, my first console that I truly try to say was one that we got for my family. We had an Atari, and I had family members who had the NES, but the first console truly of my own was a Super Nintendo. I loved it. I loved the library for it. Super Metroid, one of my all-time favorites. Link to the Past, Super Castlevania, all of them are up there. Classic gems. It has classic JRPGs to play on it. It has classic platforming games. It just has a little bit of everything. Even has some first-person shooters in the form of Doom and everything. Maybe not playing the best, but hey, they're still there. But the Super Nintendo is just an incredible 16-bit system that the visuals and graphics and everything still hold up to this day. The gameplay in the game still holds up. I love it. PS2 is coming up next, and what can you not say about the PS2? It seems like it does have just everything. You want racing games? It's got racing games. You want JRPGs? It's got JRPGs. You want platforming? Hey, we got Jak and Daxter. We got all sorts of stuff for platforming. Want your survival horror? Got some Silent Hill. We got some Resident Evil. And we even got cool games like Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. Just a mix and variety of everything on the PS2. And hey, if you want to take it online, like I said, you could go online with that broadband adapter. So PS2 had to be on this list. A surprise choice people might not see being up there, though, is this Xbox 360. Xbox 360 was huge for me. Like, this is more into my, college years, later on past that, just later on in life. It was just incredible. I love the 360. The online portion of the 360 was where I was huge into it. playing Halo all night with friends, playing Call of Duty all night with friends. It was just awesome. Guitar Hero was another big thing for me. I love rhythm games like Guitar Hero and have them all in the collection. Have multiple guitars in my collection in case they break. I know I play most of it on Clone Hero these days, but it all started with Guitar Hero, and I could play those games for hours upon hours on end. And it does have a handful of JRPGs for it. So it's mainly was my bro game machine back in the day. So I would love playing Gears of War, the Orange Box, like all that classic great stuff. And then you could even sprinkle in some stuff like Nier and Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, Final Fantasy 13, which I love. So it's really close and near and dear to my heart. I love the 360, so it had to be in the running too. And then finally, another Nintendo platform, the Nintendo Switch. It just it has everything for me too. Again, you have all the classic Nintendo franchises, your Zeldas, your Marios, your Metroids, my favorite JRPG series going right now, Xenoblade Chronicles. Just love everything about the Switch. Its portable capabilities, and just a massive library. You have so many games on it. You have so many RPGs. You got your racing games. Like I said, you got the platformers with Mario. You just have everything on it. Plus the massive million sellers in Pokemon for all the Pokemon players. It's just, it's tough. It's tough to pick between any of these because the Switch, again, it just has like everything. You can get anything you want on it to meet your taste. It even has some of the newer games, just not in the best of form, like Wolfenstein 2 when it came out on the PS4 and stuff, but you can get it on Switch, a little bit downgraded version, but it's still there. But it just has such a massive library of games, kind of like along with the PS2 there, that it's hard to deny it from not being on this list. So, if I had to choose one, what was it going to come down to? I'm going to tell you guys right now, it came down between the PS2 and the Nintendo Switch. Yes, it came down between the Switch and the PS2. Mainly because they both have a lot of variety on it. The library between the two games is just massive. And yeah, it just has a lot of stuff that I'm into. Switch has a lot of JRPGs. PS2 has a lot of JRPGs. PS2 has survival horror. The Switch has a lot of survival horror on it too, because you can get Resident Evil collections and stuff on there. So this was a really tough choice. Could I go without ever playing a Mario or Zelda game again? Or could I give up a lot of good survival horror stuff and a lot of great JRPGs that I've still yet to play and journey down? What was it going to be? And in the end, when I chose, I had to choose with one of the GOAT systems of all time, the PlayStation 2. Yes, if I had to pick a system that just was going to stick with me the rest of my life and I would just have that library of games to only be able to play, I would pick the PS2. The PS2 was so near and dear to me. It was the first system that I bought with my own hard-working money. I took my first paycheck out there that I got from helping my uncle doing construction, which, mind you guys, like I'm a teenager when this comes out, and I'm helping my uncle do construction during the summertime, and my first paycheck was $400. I couldn't believe it, like $400. I went out and spent it all on a brand new PS2 with SmackDown Just Bring It. Love my wrestling games. And I just adored that thing. I didn't have money to buy lunch the rest of the week for the next week, but I didn't care. I had my PS2. My work goal for the summer had been made. Everything else there was just upwards. Like, it was just awesome. So PS2 just has so much stuff that I love on it. Like I've mentioned before, it has so many great JRPGs that I've still yet to play. I've only played through like half of the first Xenosaga, and I have all three that I'm just looking forward to one day playing through. There's so many other great classics on there that I'm just staring at it right now. We got Radiata Stories, however you want to say it. Shadow Heart series, I still want to go through. I still haven't played Dragon Quest 8 yet, and I love Dragon Quest. There's just so many great games, and then action games. We got your Max Payne's, Matrix, Path of Neo. We got God Hand. It's just so many games on the PS2. Survival horror. We got Onimusha, Resident Evil, your Silent Hill 2s, 3s. It's just the library is just endless for me. So without a doubt, it would be the PS2. And if I could, like, I used to love going online because I mentioned it with ATV Off Road Fury, and I would just hook up. There'd be other four wheelers on there. We'd just be hitting jumps and driving around the whole map doing tricks. It was awesome. Like, just having a good time, having a blast. So, what system would you guys pick if you could only have one that you had to play for the rest of your life with the rule set that I gave you? Again, PC don't count. It can only be games for that system, no backwards compatibility, and you could have your online functionality. Did I screw up? Did I pick the wrong one? Should I have went with Switch, something with more online capabilities to keep things going forever? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you guys in the next one.